Hi, welcome to How to Repair. Today we're going to be going through the fault codes and error codes on the Hoover Dynamic Next one-touch tumble dryer for the models that are listed on the screen here. These fault codes are sometimes universal, so they may be appropriate to other Hoover and Candy tumble dryers. As we go through each individual specific fault code, I will discuss what the problem may be, how to rectify the problem, and where applicable I will put additional videos in the description below so you can watch these to assist you in your tumble dryer repair. Also, if you still have a problem with your tumble dryer, feel free to leave any questions in the comments below and I will try and assist you where I can. E03 is error code 3. This normally means the water container is full and just needs emptying. This is normally just a straightforward problem, but on some occasions you may have a problem with the measuring system. This is the switch system that measures the amount of water that is in the collection chamber. You want to make sure this is working correctly. E05 is normally an NTC sensor fault at the front of the machine. You want to check this NTC sensor. There is a detailed video on how to check NTC sensors in the description below. Also check the wiring going from the NTC sensor to the circuit board. It might be worth doing a continuity check on the wiring to make sure that the wire is not broken internally. Error code 7 is an air circulation problem. This normally occurs only at the end of a cycle. You may only need to have to clean the filters in the machine, or you may have an air restriction problem. This could also be on the condenser or possibly around the fan area next to the motor. You want to make sure that the whole condenser unit and the ducting is completely clear of any buildup of fluff. So I would use a vacuum cleaner to go around all the ducting to make sure it's clear. E08 is a heating system fault and can only occur on vented and condenser tumble dryers. Firstly, let me discuss the heating element. The heating element is actually made of two elements inside one casing. You have the low heat, which is one side. This would be only one part of the element will be used on low temperatures, but both elements will be used on high temperatures. You need to make sure that both of these circuits are in good condition by doing a multimeter continuity check on them and using Ohm's law to calculate the value of the element to the correct size that you have on your machine. Next is the cutout thermostat on the top left hand side of the heating element. This sometimes can blow due to people opening the door in mid-cycle to check close and the heating element gets too hot and blows the cutout stat. Or it could be because you have not cleaned the filters regularly and this can also cause the cutout stat to blow. On the other side of the heating element you have either an NTC sensor which basically tells the circuit board what temperature the element is operating at, or you would have a cycling thermostat. These will vary on specific models of machines, so I can't go into too much depth on that, but the cycling thermostat would normally be somewhere in the region of a value of about 85 degrees, and that is designed to cut in and cut out as the machine is cycling. The NTC sensor will be giving an ohms reading at a certain temperature to the circuit board. There are other videos in the description to assist you with this repair. E10 is a communications failure on the circuit board. This can either be a faulty circuit board and on rare occasions you might just have a bad connection. It is worth unplugging the wires. Make sure you take a picture of how the wires come off before removing them, and then clean up the edge connectors around the circuit board to make sure that you have good connections all the way around. E11 is very similar to E7. This is usually due to the machine getting a little bit too warm due to either filters being blocked, so that's the first thing I would look at. Secondly is look through the whole ducting system of the airflow to make sure you do not have any restrictions. Make sure that the fan blade on the motor is in good condition and able to blow the air around the machine. Also take out the condenser unit and thoroughly clean the condenser unit. This may have a restriction and causing the air not to flow through the machine correctly. We have another video in the description below on how to maintain your tumble dryer or condenser tumble dryer. E12, according to the manufacturer, is a pressure switch problem at the pump unit. There is normally a switching device here which tells the program that it's full of water and unable to transfer the water to the collection tray. So first thing I would do is make sure that this area isn't clogged up with fluff or anything. I would do a continuity check on the micro switch if this micro switch is fitted. If it's a pressure switch that's fitted, you need to make sure there's no blockage in this, because if it's telling the machine that the water is in the well and unable to transfer the water to the collection tray, this may be the problem. So it's worth checking all these. I have done a previous video which I will include in the description on the Hoover pump system and how to clean it and maintain it. E13, according to the manufacturer, is an NTC fault. I have some other videos in the description below on how to test NTC sensors. It's also worth doing a continuity check on the wires going to the NTC sensor to make sure that they have good continuity all the way through. But there's a video in the description on NTC sensors. E14 is an NTC sensor fault. This is on the back of the heater on the top right hand side. You need to check that the NTC sensor is in good condition and not open circuit. Check the wiring from the circuit board to the NTC sensor. I can't give you the NTC values because it will depend on the model of the machine that you have and the heater that was fitted as to what NTC sensor was there. But there is a video in the description below to show you other NTC sensors, how to check them and to make sure that the values are good according to Ohm's law. E15 is basically stating that the main circuit board has lost its programming. This is what controls the cycles on the machine. The program itself may have become corrupt for some unknown reason. Do check the wiring going to the board, make sure it's all connected because there is a possibility that this could be causing the problem, but normally this will either mean you have to get an engineer or you're going to have to replace the circuit board with a pre-programmed circuit board for your machine. E19 is a communications problem with the near field communications. This is normally to do with the phone apps and the tumble dryer itself, and some sort of communication problem has broken down. You might need to consult the manufacturer on this. E21 is to do with the thermal fuse on top of the heater. Now this has most probably gone open circuit and it's not resettable. It's designed to stop fires, which is very important. You've either got some component on the machine has failed and the temperature at the heater has got too hot, or the two main ones which I find very common is people are opening the doors mid-cycle to check their clothes, not letting the heating element get chance to cool down. This can cause the cutout to blow, and also if you haven't cleaned the filters and there's a restriction in the airflow, this can also cause this problem. So you'll need to replace the thermal fuse. I will put a link to this in the description below if you have a 206 thermostat, and you will need to check the numbers on the bottom of the thermostat. E22, according to the manufacturer, is to do with the heat pump dryer circuit boards, and they're saying basically either a problem with the compressor or the relay or the board itself. I've experienced quite a few faults on Hoover Candy tumble dryers, whether vented or condenser tumble dryers or heat pump tumble dryers. They have had some relay problems where it's quite a cheap repair, well worth looking at if you've got a circuit board with a faulty relay. I have added a video to the description below on how to inspect relays on circuit boards. That concludes all the error codes on this tumble dryer. I hope you found the video helpful. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and if we weren't able to rectify the fault with your tumble dryer, please leave your comments in the description below and I will try and assist you where I can. Thanks very much indeed for watching, and if we really helped, you can always click on the donate button by Paul Beer. Thanks very much indeed for watching.